joining us from the United Kingdom is a security risk and crisis management analyst. Good morning and thanks for joining us, Femi Aratokunwale.
Good morning.
Yes, indeed. Now, the target, obviously, from the readings are security officials and politicians. There was a deliberate attempt to attack this hotel because these people were gathered there. Is there a likelihood that there may be some kind of insider information that actually let some of this, information out to Al-Shabaab militants?
Let me start from saying this very phrase: there is no smoke without fire, and the fact remains that the security and the instability in Somalia can be seen from all angles. That yes, they are not getting the security strategy very right. And having said that, we can see that moving people from country to another, or moving states, political paths from one region to another, is really causing a lot of trouble in Somalia today. The American invasion and the American aggressive attack in Somalia led to one of the deadliest attacks we are now seeing in Somalia today. So having said all this, their security strategy, they got it wrong, and they are paying the price for getting it so wrong. And the biggest loser right now are the civilians and the government.
When President Abdullahi Farmajo got elected and got into office, many thought that things were going to change for the better. In fact, he was optimistic. And for a while, we saw the lull in the attacks of Al-Shabaab militants. So one wonders really what has emboldened the Al-Shabaab militants and for them to act this way. They are becoming more bold in the way they attack. I recall that just 2 weeks ago, they carried out what has been tagged the deadliest attack in the history of Somalia. Are we seeing this in another way, that it could be political in any way?
Man, look at it this way, that it is political. At the same time, let us look at Somalia in a different way. They all live together like one family, like a clan, and at the same time, they all know each other. So by this context alone, one of the commandants of the Al-Shabaab was killed some months ago, or let me say by a month ago right now, 2 months ago. Now, the revenge is what we're seeing today. Apart from the above, let us look at it this way. Families are now moving away from the government is failing us. The government seems to be listening more into the Western ideas and not even listening to the plea of what is exactly our problem in Somalia. What is exactly what we're facing that we want the government to do for us? So do you really think the fighting and the killing machine will resolve the problem in Somalia? No. So the problem is more of internal conflicts rather than the broadening conflicts we're looking at.
So this internal conflicts actually opening the country up and making it more vulnerable to this Al-Shabaab attacks. And recall too that the last one that we've described as about the deadliest in Somalia, Al-Shabaab, an ex-Al-Shabaab militant, actually condemned it. And even Al-Shabaab has not owned that particular attack. What do we make of this? Are there new insurgents rising up and we're calling them all Al-Shabaab?
Well, let us look at this problem very well. ISIL will claim attack. Al-Qaeda is there. Some other pocket-resistant militants are still there in Somalia operating. Now, if you look at the strategic move from this attack to 2 trucks, that is one. One is a minivan, then one is the larger one. Where are they both targeting? Then who are those feeding them with this information? If not from the government, then where will you think it's going to come from? So there is a loophole somewhere, and they're actually making use of the loophole. They are using the opportunity they have, that the government is fragile, the government is new, and the government is being supported by the Western world, that, you know what, let us teach you the lesson you don't know. And where exactly are they targeting? They are not really targeting the civilians, let us be honest. They are targeting the politicians, the journalists, the military intelligence, and the military training camps, because they see themselves as in losing the power, losing the fight. Now let us take the fight back to them. So right now the problem is enormous. The problem is more than what we can even think of. 300 to 500 people dead in one deadliest attack is not something anybody want to claim attack or responsibility for at the moment.
In the past, especially after President Mohammed got to power, many were thinking and were hoping that Somalia would be able to stand on its 2 feet, and then the security operatives there would be able to man the country better. But with the way things are going, would you say that there is need for the United Nations and the African Union to do more for that country, which seems to be incapacitated and in fact unable to even protect itself internally?
I think my own suggestion is this, and my view is this: the security strategy and the tactics needs to be changed. Do you really need to carry the firepower that you think you want to use and enforce it on them, that will be the lasting solution? The answer to me is no. Let us look for a different way to talk to the clan, to talk to the local chiefs, the local leaders, the local imams, or the local faith leaders around there. They know all these people. They live together. They coexist together. So they know what is going on. Why not let us just drop the idea of fighting with firearms and airstrike on all these guys, and let's just have a regional talk. If we have a regional talk, I think it will bring a lasting peace solution towards it. Yes, we have the Amazon there. Yes, we have the United Nations there. Yes, we have the African Union there. We all are calling ourselves peacekeepers. But peacekeepers in what sense? Still carrying AK-47 and we call ourselves peacekeepers? Let us look for a lasting way to talk to the detained Al-Shabaab that what exactly is the problem? How can we resolve it? Who are the key factors here? Who are the main actors? Let us see how best we can talk to the main actors and lay down our red flags and bring up the white flags. That is what I think would be the peace lasting solution to the solution and the problem in Somalia today.
I'd even say to you that that might just be a very naive way of looking at it, because it doesn't seem to be as simple as that. Now, of course, it's been a rocky journey to democracy in Somalia towards 2016. The hope was that, with the new government in place, that things would sort of ease off. What do you think, what kind of impact do you think all of this would have on the possibility of any kind of democracy at all in Somalia going forward?
I think that's a very good question. And the point is this: I think the federal government in Somalia, or the national government in Somalia, made one of the biggest mistakes by just letting down the whole former chiefs of staff or the former government officials within the cabinet and introducing a new one. That led to a big mistake, because right now there is no way they want to share intelligence at all. There is no way they want to share exactly what they know in the past to help them or to help rebuild the new government. So all this has now led into, we don't know who to trust again. We want to start from the scratch. Where do you want to start from? There should be an handover system. There should be a transition whereby, tell us what you know, tell us where you guys have gone to, what exactly you guys are doing in maintaining this peace so far compared to what they have right now. Because right now, what they have is a serious, fragile government that we don't really see America or the Western world can actually hold them together.
That was why I asked the question earlier, that if the problem could be more political than suspected. Yes, the president has tried to unite the country, to bring the people together. I recall that they marched in thousands after the deadly bombing on October the 14th, just to show the militants and the terrorists that they are united as a people, speaking with one voice against the terrorism and insurgency in their country. But yes, now saying that everybody has to come on board. But like you said, there is suspicion now. Nobody knows who to trust. And the target most usually are luxurious hotels and high-profile buildings, meaning that government officials are there. So it seems that it is an attack on the government of the day, regardless of the administration.
Well, yeah, you can say that again, that is attack on the government, regardless of the administration. But let us look at it from this angle. Why can't we just think back, sit back again, and re-strategize? I will keep saying it, because if you do not involve the outside world into what the situation is in Somalia today, it's not going to work. Who are the outside world I want the Somalian government to start thinking of bringing on board right now? Those are the Somalian diasporans. If you bring them on board right now, I think there will be a better solution, because remember, they all live together. They are a clan. They are a society. They know the system. They understand the language. They know what the problem is. They are the set of people that can actually solve it themselves. Kenya, Uganda, Eritrea, Djibouti cannot even solve it for them. They are the set of people that will solve this problem themselves, and they need to start speaking to the diasporans right now to start looking for a bigger solution, not the Western solution that we are proposing for them. It's not going to work. Somalia is a different ball entirely. So we should not look at it that we need to impose things on them. We have a better way of doing things in Africa. We are all Africans. So in a way, we need to look at the government that do we need to bring in the former officials, or what do we do about it? If we don't want to bring them in Africa, we are all Africans. So in a way, we need to look at the government that do we need to bring in the former officials, or what do we do about it? If we don't want to bring them in, now let us look for another better way of working with the diaspora so that we can bring a solution towards it. Killing people, losing lives, losing citizens might not be the position that we need to find ourselves. Again, the citizens are marching and condemning the attack. That is fine. We all condemn the attack. It's just too much that we cannot actually handle anymore. But we're not looking for peace. But we're looking for this peace. How can we have this peace accord together that the peace will last and reign forever in Somalia? Remember, Somalia has been on this war for a very long time, more than 2 decades right now, and there's still no solution. So the question is this: do we still need the external body, or we need the internal body to work it out?
A very good question there that people have been asking. How do you solve the problem that is Somalia? And some analysts have actually pointed to the way this government, the present government, actually emerged. Some have said, look, the uniqueness of it all, the democratic process that brought the government of Mohammed into place, he was not necessarily voted for. He was selected. And some are saying that that might even just be at the root of the problem, because it does not reflect, in quote, the desires of true, Democrats.
You see, again, as I've said, and I'll keep saying it, when you have the Western power involving in your activities, then you're bringing in more problems to yourselves. You see, we can't use the whole Western ideas to inculcate into our own culture. We are a different set of people. We are different in a whole lot of ways, and we think differently. And what we are saying here is this: let us look internally to solve this internal problem. The problem can be well fully contained in Somalia, within the African Union. Let the African leaders come together and speak one language. The language is this: what exactly is the way forward to put Somalia on the line of peace? We need this peace. And without this peace, we will keep losing investment in Africa, and Africa will start having bad names that, yes, we know where to go. Yes, we don't have the ideas. Yes, we don't know how to govern ourselves. But look at it this way: putting somebody in power simply means it's a stooge to the Western world. It's a stooge to the Western government. It's a stooge to
the African Union you're talking about, Femi Arotokunwale, it has been described as a toothless bulldog. I mean, the way the AU has carried on with different conflicts all around Africa, some say has left a lot to be desired. Some would even tell you that regional, bodies like ECOWAS seem to be stronger than the AU that you talk about. How much really can the AU do when it comes to resolving this Somali problem?
You see, this is why I said in the first place that we should think back and, sit back again and re-strategize. If you look during the ECOMOG time, things were a lot more better. We have a voice and we're speaking one voice. Now, if you look at the AU right now, a lot of the countries are not even together at all. A lot of countries are in different shapes and with different languages and with different conflicts within the countries themselves. So right now, we need to look again. Do we need the ECOMOG this time around, or we need the AU, or we need the UN? It is so broken down right now that they themselves don't even know where to go or where to start from. Right now, Turkey is involved right now. French is involved. America is there. Europe is there. So we have different people with different ideas talking to one single government, one single state, one single country. Is going to be a complete mess up. This is why I've said to you guys, let us bring in the Somalian diasporans. Let them come and do this job for them. They are the set of people that I think they will listen more and they will understand where the problem is coming from and how best to solve it. Remember, there are...
Yeah, Femi, let me come in here quickly because of time. Yes, you just said that Somalians in the diaspora should be brought back home to solve the problem. Sure. But then they've been away for so long. Where would they start from? Because it's quite complex, the dynamics within that country. We call 4 days before that deadly attack, the defense chief, the army chief of that country resigned and without giving reasons at all. So it's quite complex for you to say that Somalians in the diaspora could have the working formula to solve the problem of their country.
I am shocked from the statement you just made that the Somalians have gone away for a long time. Do you actually know that all over the world, Somalians in Western world speaks their language more than anybody all over the world? Even there are little kids that have not even been to Somalia before. I live in the United Kingdom, and I come to Nigeria every time to engage with the Nigerian police forces, to engage with the military forces and all other different military parastatals in the country. So for you now saying that they've gone away for a long time, that they would not understand the dynamics in Somalia is completely out of it. I think they know more better than the people living in Somalia right now, because they have a better solution in resolving the conflict. The same thing is happening all over in Africa because we've neglected the diasporans. Right now, we need to go back to our sister coast and look at it this way: that is it possible to bring them in and let them come and solve this problem for us, or we just do it the way we've been doing it? We don't need to live in a kangaroo.
Terrorism is an unconventional crime, so there is no hard and fast way to solving it. So any way they can solve the problem,
another unconventional way, considering the fact that diasporans may have the
fresh ideas anyway,
the expertise, and even the funds, you know, to fight.
All right, thank you very much, Femi Aratokunwale, Security Risk and Crisis Management Analyst, for your analysis at this time. Thank you for joining us on the show.